Boy, you go away for 2 weeks and you realize you didn't do anything for those 2 weeks, so there's nothing to do on the bench. Welcome back to the Skill Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 15 of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you are not familiar with this show, it's where I take you through all the projects that I'm working on, either finished or unfinished or in progress or in my brain. It's all kinds of things on What's on the Bench Weekly. And I have been on vacation. The previous 2 episodes were filmed before I left, so now we're in that sort of stage where there isn't much done. And we kind of have to make it up as we go. So this week is definitely that. And I think it's probably best to start with one of my more recent projects, which is the Baja 5B from HPI. Well, luckily this week, I got the power plant. Castle sent me the Mamba XLX2, which is probably the largest ESC they offer, I think anyway. This is paired with a Castle 2028 800 kV censored brushless motor. These are for 5th scale specifically. This ESC will handle anything from 3S all the way to 8S LiPo. And it's a big, thick boy. So let's take a look at what's in the box. By the way, I made this knife. Well, I assembled it anyway. Is that joke ever going to get old? No. The answer is no. Let's take a look at what's inside this box because I think you'll find it to be quite funny. First, let's get a look at the ESC. This is not small. It is 5th scale, so kind of makes sense. Golly. Here it is. Here is the Mamba XLX2. It is a massive ESC. This is all aluminum construction on the bottom here, and then we've got a massive fan. It's as big as a PC fan, basically. Man, 8-gauge wire. It's going to require a pretty heavy-duty set of connectors, that's for sure. Not XT60 or 90. I bet you're going to have to go even higher. I may even use Castle recommended connectors, which is their own brand. But that's huge. And now for the really funny part, a 20 series motor. There it is. That is a thick boy. Oh my gosh. It's so big. Let's get some of this wrap off of here. That is huge. That's what she said. It really is though. That is very, very large. And that's an 800 kV brushless motor. Of course, it'll be able to be powered by 8S. Again, 8-gauge wire on there, on the bullet connectors. It's just huge. Weighs a ton. Not a full metric ton, but pretty close. Yeah, so there you go. Hashtag powered by Castle. That system is going to go into the Baja 5B. This just arrived today, so I'm not really surprised that I haven't gotten it into the car yet. But we will, because that's what this show is all about. That XLX2 is waterproof and comes with a nice sticker sheet, because you need stickers. It also includes a 20 amp BEC built into it, which should be plenty for the application we'll be using it in. And man, this motor, I can't get over that. That is hilarious. That's going to be the thumbnail, guaranteed. The instructions for mounting that motor in ESC, super easy. All we have to do now is get a steering servo, some connectors, and a couple of batteries, and we should be good to go. The same sort of things apply when you are setting your mesh. All you need is a piece of paper. This is the easiest way to get the perfect mesh between your pinion and your spur. I cannot recommend it enough. They actually, in the manual, suggest that you cut little pieces of paper out of the manual and use it that way. I'm not sure if that's an update or not, but regardless, best way to get it done. Like I said, Reefs will be supplying a servo for me. That's in the mail as we speak. And then just plop a receiver in there, and I think we're good to go. My thanks, of course, to Castle for sending this along and helping out the Baja. It's going to be awesome with that power plant. Speaking of the Baja, real quick, I did do a test panel in the paint scheme that I'm going for, and there were a lot of comments about how I should paint the Baja. I decided to go with a similar color scheme to what was on the original, but it's going to be my take on it, maybe based on an F1 car that you might be familiar with. Yeah, we're going with a black, sort of a purplish pink and orange. So almost using the same color scheme that was on the original car when it came out. But yeah, there'll be more of that to come in later episodes. And soon, because it's getting chilly here already. I'll be painting the Baja with, of course, On Point paint. It's the Canadian version of Traxxas's Pro Graphics paint. Just a slightly different color palette than Traxxas offers, but very amazing paint. I really like using this stuff. It goes on super well and has a lot of really funny Canadian warnings on it. I started taping out the rest of the panels, but they're so big, and there's a lot of things I'll kind of want to look at and experiment with and see how far we get before we actually go ahead and finish the rest of the paint. Kind of want to have a nice fade from this red into the purple slash pink. So that's something we're going to work on. And, you know, it's not going to be on the bench very often because this thing is gigantic and hilarious. Oh, one other thing from the build video. I thought I was supposed to use this aluminum plate in the building of the motor and the transmission mount. This is actually for the gas version, not the electric, so I won't actually be needing this, and I didn't make any mistakes. I feel vindicated. Lots of progress on this already. Next on What's on the Bench, you might be familiar with a little speed challenge that we have going on between myself and about 7 other fellow YouTubers. This one, we're taking the Vanquish VS410 Phoenix Straight Axle Edition and making it go fast through any means necessary. And while I'm not going to show you any of the details of that because we are having an embargo of sorts on all of that information until the very end, it'll be one big long episode. You'll be able to see all the progress all in one episode from all 8 of us. I did have to build parts of the kit, so at least I had that going on What's on the Bench. What I can show you is this. That's it. That's all I can share with you for now. But most assuredly, this is a very fun kit to build. I've built 4 Phoenixes now. And I think I still have one portal kit up in the other storage area for a rainy day. The straight axle kit is awesome. The F10s are a great axle. I love that it's a straight axle. This was always sort of my secret hope. I hope that they would deliver one of these and put these out because portals, well, nice, are not really my bag. This is just more realistic and more challenging in the driving department. For this specific one, I won't be using the VFD transmission. That's all I'm gonna say. So, use your imagination. So there you go, a pretty lackluster week if I'm honest. I was away for 2 weeks, so that's sort of what happens. You go away, you can't work on RC stuff. That said, I did have an incredible time at Proline by the Fire this year. I saw a lot of friendly faces, met a lot of new friends, and reconnected with a lot of old friends. It was really spectacular and a really well-run event. It was really cool to see Proline put on a medieval-themed event. There were a lot of really cool mini kind of adventures that were happening and tons of RC fun with friends. I have both of the trucks that I took with me. The Marlin on the brazen scale chassis. It's definitely had a bit of a workout and has a lot more scratches on it now. which is good. That's good. They're supposed to get used, and I'm glad that this one did. It performed very, very well. I love the leaf-sprung chassis. I did bend some of the rear leaves, getting bound up a little bit. It should maybe have like some sort of anti-wrap bar, I guess is what I should call it. But otherwise, it did perform quite well, and just a really nice truck. I like this truck a lot. It's fun. I was running the Proline Open Countries from Toyo. It's a good tire. It worked really well. I should probably get a better foam for it though, as the stock foams, they're pretty weak. They do need a dual stage foam for sure. So that's something I'll probably be doing in upcoming weeks. I'll also put them back on the truck. The other truck I took with me was the Vanquish VS410 Phoenix straight axle with the F10Ts. This is just a great truck. It's probably one of my favorite trucks of all time, and it certainly performed very well out there on the rocks at Proline by the Fire. It also competed in the Duel War, and there's some video of it online. Some people got some great shots of it. Proline actually posted it because it was one of the funnier ones where I actually knocked my competitor off the platform, but he hung on with one tire just dangling, and there was no real easy way for me to get it off without taking myself off there too, and I ended up losing that one by half a second at most. But very fun time there. I had a great time. I will do possibly a little bit of cleaning on these trucks, and in a future episode I will show you how I pack for a trip like that. It is really key to get there with all of your gear safe and sound, so we'll show you that in an upcoming episode. But that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild, including What's on the Bench Weekly, which is probably now my favorite show. But that's going to do it. Thank you so much. We will see you again next week.